Processor comparison, which models will work best? In this video, I will provide some basic information about computer processors. I hope this information will help someone when choosing the right processor. When it comes to the processor market, it is dominated by two big companies at the moment, Intel and AMD. Among them we can distinguish many models and series, characterized by different parameters. Some processors are designed for everyday use and office work, while others are perfect for graphic designers and game enthusiasts. Check out our CPU comparison to see what to look for when buying a CPU. CPU comparison, Intel and AMD, the basic breakdown. Wondering whether to go for an Intel Core i3 or i5 processor? Well, it would seem that the higher the number next to the name of the processor, the better its performance. However, as it turns out, it does not look like that, so it is worth paying attention to other technical parameters of a given model. Check what the various series are characterized by. Intel processors. Intel Core i9, the most powerful type of processors, designed mainly for professional graphic designers and people who play very high-tech games. Some of them have even 18 cores, so they are maximally efficient. Intel Core i7, very powerful processors, which are perfect for both rendering graphics and 3D modeling, will also appeal to gamers. They are found in laptops and desktops, have from 2 to 10 cores. Intel Core i5, powerful processors that are perfect for home and office use. They have from 2 to 6 cores and guarantee a short boot time. Intel Core i3, processors, which are distinguished, above all, by an attractive price, are usually equipped with 2 cores, and newer ones with 4 cores. They work well on a daily basis, especially in laptops and office computers. They charge quickly, run for a long time without recharging and are very mobile. Intel Celeron, economical processors, which are not characterized by very high performance, but tempting at a low price. Intel Pentium, processors at an affordable price, suitable for everyday computers. Intel Xeon, processors, whose main application is handling large amounts of data, they are used mainly in workstations. AMD processors. AMD Ryzen Threadripper, processors that have up to 32 cores and 64 threads, they are created to handle many demanding applications. AMD Ryzen 7, very good processors, they are great for video processing and graphics rendering, as well as gaming and streaming. They are comparable to the Intel Core i7 series. AMD Ryzen 5, processors that are very good for gaming and semi-professional graphics work, they are comparable to the Intel Core i5 series. AMD Ryzen 3, economic processors, will work well for multimedia computers, are comparable to the Intel Core i3 series. AMD FX, processors, which are suitable for many games and work in advanced programs. AMD A10, processors, which are good for amateur photo editing and work with databases, but are too weak for gamers and professionals working on programs such as Photoshop or AutoCAD. AMD A8, not very efficient processors, intended rather for basic tasks, comparable to Intel Pentium. AMD A4/A6, economical processors, which are good for surfing the internet and watching videos, but are not suitable for running office packages, comparable to Intel Celeron processors. Intel processor designations. At this point it's worth looking at what the other letters, placed at the end of the notation, might mean. S indicates low power consumption or special edition. T indicates very low power consumption, found in desktop computers. U refers to processors with extremely low power consumption. M refers to fully mobile processors. K processors with an unlocked multiplier, which gives the possibility to overclock them. H stands for high performance graphics. HK processors that feature powerful graphics and have an unlocked multiplier so they can be overclocked to increase performance. XM/HQ processors with the highest performance, targeted at developers, graphic designers, and gamers. X processors that allow you to raise the multiplier without any restrictions. F models that require a separate graphics card. G processor with an external graphics card that can boost performance. AMD processor designations. G stands for processors with integrated graphics. U stands for fully mobile processors. Pro stands for business processors. X stands for improved performance and clock speeds. G energy efficient processors with integrated graphics. K unlocked multiplier and overclocking capability. Cores and threads. The most important difference between processors comes mainly from the number of cores and threads. It determines how many tasks a given computer can perform. In practice, however, it does not mean that the more cores and threads, the faster and more efficient the processor will work. This is because many programs do not require 24 threads or 12 cores, so their potential is not fully exploited, and for some programs 2 cores are enough. Clocking. The clock rate indicates the number of operations performed by the processor per second. It is another parameter that has a significant impact on the computer's performance. The higher the clock frequency, the better the performance. We can distinguish between base clocking and turbo clocking, which is only present in some computers. Turbo mode is activated when the hardware requires additional processing power, e.g. for gaming. TDP. This term indicates the heat rate emitted by a given model. High-performance CPUs tend to have a higher TDP than lower-performance ones. A high TDP also means a higher power requirement. A lower TDP means longer battery life and quieter cooling. Cache memory. When looking at the specifications for a particular processor, you'll probably also come across information about the cache, typically the first, second, and third levels, L1, L2, and L3. The cache is like a mini disk that stores data that the processor will use soon. It's related to the number of cores, and, in simple terms, the more cache there is, the better the performance of your computer. At the moment, processors have 4 MB to 20 MB of cache. Integrated graphics. Some processors have an integrated graphics chip, which is useful for everyday computer use, such as internet browsing or multimedia playback. However, it is not suitable for modern games. Processor for office work. In the case of office packages, databases and basic graphics programs, the processor does not need to be maximally powerful. Intel Core i3 or i5, as well as AMD Ryzen 3 or Ryzen 5, with 2 cores and 4 threads, will suffice. A processor for the graphic designer, programmer, and IT professional. If you are a professional graphic designer, programmer, or IT specialist, you will need a processor with at least 6 or 8 cores. Greetings and have a nice day. I hope the information presented in this video will be helpful to someone. Thanks for watching.